And we're live.
Well, welcome back, guys.
Welcome to the club.
Yes, episode 1, chapter 1 review.
Book club, that is.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Well, first,
where should we start?
where did we start? This has been an interesting start of a book club, I would say, even just the preparation of being able to come on live here with you guys today. How has it been for you?
It's been different. Not really out there like that, so it's kind of different doing something like this, but it's good. It's a new challenge.
Yeah, very much so. We've been posting this, like our little videos, and for us, anything over 100 views is a lot. So yeah, it's different.
Yeah, so thank you for watching. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, chapter 1 of You Deserve to Be Rich. I messed up Troy Milling's name. I'm sorry about that. So, what are your thoughts on the book so far?
So far it's really good. It sounds exactly like Troy and Rashad. Like if you were to watch Earn Your Leisure, like Market Mondays, then you would know the language and how they speak, and like, so as I'm reading it, I'm hearing their voices.
Yeah, definitely. So we have this, the hard copy and an audio version, and it's really nice to hear Troy's voice reading it. It would have been nice to hear Rashad's, but I know he wanted a professional, and the professional obviously does a great job. But
Yeah.
it would have been nice to hear his voice reading it also.
Yeah. So
okay.
they have like a like a not two part, but so when you start the book, they have the introduction, which is a few pages long before you actually get into chapter 1.
Yeah.
So the review will be like a 2-part review essentially of the introduction and chapter 1.
Yeah, so the introduction just talks about at the beginning the American dream. Is it real?
Is it attainable?
Yeah, it goes through different case studies of different people and scenarios, and you may not be able to. Your situation might not be exactly the same, but I'm sure everyone can find a similar situation.
Yeah.
To what their circumstances, so that's nice. And then I guess we'll go into what they do to accomplish their goals.
Yeah. So I think the purpose of like the book itself, from like just reading it, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to do case studies, and for you to find yourself in each case study to see how they're coming out of their financial struggles, I guess, or changing it. Um, so it's different. It's not like they're just talking at us. They're kind of having a point of view of somebody, which is, I think, is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's helpful.
It's very case study like. Yeah, so they, and what they outline, which I think is very cool, is that they have a 2-part. This book is broken up into 2 parts. So side A, which is mindset, which is trying to, I guess, break down or unlearn behaviors that we've had to switch your mindset into, which is also the second part. Side 2, B side, which is wealth building. So you have one side which is mindset. So I guess everything will be focused on unlearning behavior, and then the second side would be wealth building, on how to actually attain the goals.
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's different also, because it definitely is a mindset.
Yeah.
So not even just unlearning, just learning different ways to train your brain, what you're capable of. And then it goes on to chapter 1. They go into further about different topics that would be helpful in guiding your journey to financial freedom. So they have a few different examples of questions just out of the book I'm reading here. Why do I need money? Why do I need money? That's what. Oh, sorry. Why do I want money? Why do I need money? So that's a good question. Everyone says they want money, but let's say you do get the money. What are you going to do with it? So it's good. They have some good thought provoking questions here to talk about the highest level of what people who are operating at their highest level or financial level, what that looks like. So that's also helpful to see, you know, um, different perspectives of how people manage not only their money but their time and such.
So we prepared some questions today because we want to try and have a guideline of how we're leading the discussion, because they have a lot of good points, and obviously we don't want to give away what the book is about, you know what I mean? But we want to give a good overview, at least for you guys to have a better picture, and for those who do want to join along and join in the discussion, then I guess some of these thought-provoking questions that they ask, we will touch on and kind of have a discussion here, bring the discussion to the table. You have a question for us?
Sure. So we mentioned mindset. That's a big point in what we've read so far. So, what does mindset is the foundation? What does that mean to you personally, Zai?
Well, honestly, I feel like for me, mindset is, I speak on unlearning behavior. The reason why I say unlearning behavior is because I feel like we are taught, like we have a very like false idea of how to attain money and how to make money, which is work hard and save. And to get anywhere in life, that doesn't work.
No,
Like
unfortunately
saving, and I guess this is just from like listening to other people speak or reading other books, but with inflation, like saving just doesn't really, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to have a security net, and I think that's what they touch on,
not. Mhm.
but the focus should be more on investment, and that's something that I don't think we've learned.
So, how has your mindset shaped your relationship with money previously and currently, if it's changed at all?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my mindset has changed, but my financial situation hasn't changed. I haven't been able to implement the things I would want to at the rate I would want to. So I'm doing it in small doses, but I feel like there's more that I want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
So for me, mindset, I never really understood it until um, just getting older, but it really is whatever you think is what will happen. If you say you're not going to do something, you're probably not going to do it. So, for example, I was watching a YouTube clip and I saw a man who was saying that he talks to himself and he says, money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. And every time he sees or he gets some money that he wasn't expecting, he says, thank you, money, for coming to me. And so, watching that, I said, let me give it a try. So, I started in my head saying to myself, money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. And then whenever I would receive money randomly, because for some reason, I don't know if it's because now I'm noticing more or I'm not sure why it is that like just random things, opportunities have come up to me. For example, I painted nails. I'm not an esthetician, but I took someone offered to do nails for a mommy group and I definitely took it. And, that's some extra money for an hour of my time.
That's very funny. I think if I could figure out how to put a photo in of that happening, I will, because it was quite funny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do nails, but like, just getting in the mindset of if you want money, you got to go get it. It's definitely not going to come to you. And another saying that I've learned is nobody's coming to save you. I don't know why that didn't click until recently, but literally nobody's coming to save you. You better save yourself. So yeah, it's all about your mindset.
Yeah.
You can train your mind to do anything. You can train it to be great. You can train it to be
Yeah.
mediocre. You can train it to be, put it to rot if that's if you don't do anything with it. So that's why it's good to read and learn and develop new skills. But yes, mindset. How has my mindset shaped my relationship with money so far? I used to be like think not frugal. Well, yeah, I guess frugal. Now I'm more in an abundance mind state, so I'm just trying.
And what does that look like? Spending more or
Not spending more, but not being so
scared
cheap.
to?
Yeah, not being so scared to spend money. Like I'm not overly spending, but I do recognize that
Yeah.
money can come. You just have to work towards
To
it.
get it, yeah.
Um,
You just have to get it. Okay, so like, when was your first introduction to investments in stocks? And are you participating in any of that?
Yes, thanks to you, actually. So Zai started watching EYL, Earn Your Leisure, these guys who wrote this book. She started watching them. She got I don't know if that's where you got the idea of
Yeah,
stocks.
pretty much.
She told me about it. I got some stocks, ended up from EYL, bought NVIDIA stocks when they were pretty cheap, did a nice little flip on that. So yeah, just not as much as I would like, but I am starting to learn more about stocks and such.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think for me, my first introduction was like, what, this has been like a good like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And I started off with mutual funds. So we're in Canada here, and we have mutual funds. And so I started it thinking I was doing like something really good, like, oh, I'm excited, I'm starting investing. And then I had a friend who told me like, no, like maybe take your money out of that and do it yourself. And I was offended, like, why are you trying to diss my like what I'm doing here? Like,
yeah, like look at me, I
I'm
have
doing something.
mutual
I felt
funds.
good, like I felt like an adult. And this is in my early 20s. And so I started reading more and like on it, and I came across a book called Beat the Bank. And from there, they broke it down in a way that I was able to digest it more. And so I think I closed my mutual funds in like within like 2 or 3 months. And then I started investing in the stocks myself. And I kind of had my investments as almost like my savings. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it was a blessing because when I needed the money, like when I needed to tap in the money, it was available because I did invest a good amount. So now for me, I'm just rebuilding it because I did have to use it. And ideally, you want to hold your investments, especially your stocks for like 5-10 years. But there's obviously different types of ways of trading. But I think what we're more are comfortable with is long-term savings. So yeah, that was my first introduction. And now I think I'm trying to learn how to do a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not the greatest time.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in the world, but definitely investments if you have the money. We're not financial advisors or anything like that, but if it's something you look into, it could be very fruitful. Okay, do you have another question?
Yeah, so I do. So okay, so in the book they go over a couple scenarios, like we said, case studies of different people. Was there any of the people that you identified most with?
For me, it was Sonia, who's a single mother, and she didn't realize how bad she was doing until she actually looked at her bank statements. So that for me was kind of like eye opening. I had credit cards, I have a job, so money's coming in, money's going out. It's all good until my credit card was almost maxed out. And I said to myself, like, okay, hold on a second. Like, what happened here? And I went back and I reviewed my credit card statements, and very similar to her, she realized She was paying for services she didn't even watch. So I was doing the same thing. I had a bunch of Crave. I have Crave. I have Netflix. I have, whatever streaming, whatever. So all of that got cut. My internet, I called them and said, any way we could lower this? They were able to lower it. So yeah, just definitely taking the time to look at your statements. I know it's scary to do that, but taking the time to look at where your money is being spent. But anyways, moral of the story is I had to stop using credit altogether. So I was forced to only use my income, and that showed me that really showed me where I was at financially. I wasn't really aware of that. So that was similar for me when the same way she looked at her statements and started to realize, okay, maybe I'm not as rich as I thought I was. Same thing for me. So I could definitely relate to that part. How about you?
Yeah, I would say probably Sonia as well. Just off the mere fact of her income that she is making, it's not like it's above the average, but it's not a lot. And yeah, just trying to figure out how to get more money. And I think that's where what she was trying to figure out, or that I think that's going to be her journey, is just trying to figure out like how to increase her income. And that brings me to the point of the thesis that EYL had put out, which I think is like, I don't know why. As soon as I read this, I thought it was like amazing. So their thesis of wealth is increase your income, lower your expenses, invest the difference. And for me, it's like, it sounds so simple and easy, which is why I like it. But now it's just trying to figure out, like I said, like go through statements and see where you can lower your the cost. If you come to our house now, we have no Netflix, we have nothing. So it's a little boring, but we're calling our other sisters to use their accounts.
Smooching off other people until we work on that.
But yeah, I would say I would identify most with her. And then but to the point with Sonia, a shout out to Aaliyah. And
pick up yourself, Aaliyah.
Yes. So she had a point when we were talking about it, because they're reading it as well. And she had said something that I didn't even think of, and I don't even think it will be addressed in the book at all. But what did she say?
She said that it was good for the single mom to we don't want to give away too much of the story, but in this, so far in the case study, they're saying that Sonia, what she did is she picked up another part-time job.
Yeah.
And that eased some of her financial pressure. But her thought was, okay, that's great, but how does that benefit the child? So now she spends even more time away from her child.
And has someone else watching her.
Which
is great to have that ability to have a support system in a community to be able to watch your kid. However, not everyone will raise your child in the way you want them to. And as us being parents, like I could totally see that, like any time away from them, it's challenging. It is challenging because they learn behaviors, they miss you, or they get used to you not having you around, and it's like both hurt.
Yeah.
So it's a constant, I feel like, battle.
Yeah.
That we could relate to. Even us, like, we didn't pick up a second job, but just the mere fact that we're trying to hustle, it's taking away time from our kid, would you say? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not even anything that's tangible yet that we're receiving yet. We're not getting any like large amounts for all the efforts that we're making. But it's like, I guess it's just the battle that any parent has to face.
Yeah, any parent, it doesn't matter. Even help or no help.
Yeah.
You have to weigh leaving your child for, your job, your business, whatever it may be. So it'll be interesting to see how Sonia works it out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe the title of the book is You deserve to be rich. Do you believe that everybody deserves to be rich?
I do. I don't think everyone will be rich, but
Yes, I agree with that.
I think everyone deserves to be rich.
Yeah,
I think there's enough out there for everyone to have,
for sure.
but scared money don't make money. A lot of people are not willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
We've been in situations where we're not willing to take the risk.
Yeah.
And consistency. Oh my goodness, consistency. Whew. Consistency with everything, with weight loss. Like if you're not consistent, you're not getting that goal.
It's sad but
And
true.
the same applies with like any financial freedom you're trying to attain. If you're not consistent on doing one thing,
Yeah.
then you're not going to attain it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I do think everyone deserves to be rich. And I love the title because I could say the title with like pride, like you deserve to be rich, and I internalize it.
Yeah.
Which is why I really like the title. But I don't, the truth is not everyone will be rich.
Yeah, I
Because
completely agree
the
with
work that you gotta put in is it's kind of difficult. And putting yourself out there, like us doing this,
that. Yeah,
it's foreign.
definitely. So Troy and Rashad, they stress the importance of self-education. What are some ways you're currently educating yourself financially?
I think one, reading, and a lot of podcasts. Like I think my shift has definitely started to happen a little bit more. So like I eased up on my, well, there's not really many shows right now anyway, so it kind of helps. But I find myself like wanting to actually watch more
Learning.
videos that are more conducive to what I
Do
want.
you have any examples?
Yeah, like I spend a lot of time on YouTube, just listen to other people via podcasts. How do they invest? What stocks to invest in? So even though I may not be actually buying any stocks right now, I'm
You're
current.
learning.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm like current with the news, just to when it is my time to jump in, like I'm
Yeah.
ready. You know, and I think that's a shift for me.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, same thing. Market Mondays, EYL is always that's always interesting. Chris Slane, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, I like watching him. I like watching Diaries of a CEO. He has some really good stuff.
Yeah. Aristotle.
Aristotle.
He's good.
I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. And that's the next thing.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are teaching it, honestly.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to learn, there is information out there. Also, just reading books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, very basic, but very, very inspiring book, I thought was pretty helpful for me.
Mhm.
Richest Man in Babylon, I'm finishing up that book also. But yeah, just different books and such.
And I think books are like, it's like probably people probably think it's like why what is reading gonna do anything? What it's gonna do? But it really is a mindset. And all these books, what they have in common is they speak on mindset, which is so interesting because it's not even something like you think it's just like, okay, go and do what you have to do. But it really is a mindset shift that you're also learning.
Yeah.
In order to attract money.
I feel like a lot of the times people feel like, I don't know why they're not entitled or they're in a different class. Like they literally feel like they don't deserve to be rich for no reason at all. It's not because they're not talented. It's not because they're not capable. It's just that
seems like it's out of their reach.
Yeah, for them it feels like it's out of the reach, and so I think that's also very limiting. So it definitely is the mindset. Have you ever had limiting beliefs about money?
Yeah, like I would say yeah. Like just the fact that I'm like so comfortable with doing a paycheck to paycheck budget and like I'm not even thinking of, okay, I can have an extra $200 this week. Like I don't even think that sometimes. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, you're getting X amount. This is what you have to work with. And it's like, no, you don't necessarily have to work with that. You could actually try and sell a 1-2 things. Like we've recently been doing some pop-up shops
Yeah.
And like that's something new, but it could be fruitful. You know what I mean? So it's like being a little bit more creative
Yeah.
um
There's
to
definitely
offset.
money out there to be
There
made, which
is.
is so crazy because you feel like you're stuck in this job and there's nothing else, but there are other
Yeah.
ways to make money. I mean, you just have to be willing to hustle.
Yeah.
So, and
But it
whatever you're
is
good at.
but it is like I think I do initially do have a limiting mindset that I'm trying to come out of. How about you?
Oh, definitely. I remember one time having a Mazda lime green Mazda small, like whatever their smallest car is, as a rental and thinking, oh, like maybe one day I'll be able to buy one of these. Like, I don't know why I thought that was good.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that to anyone who has that car. By the way, that's like I wanted that car. Like I'm just saying, like that was very limiting. That's what I thought was like. Oh,
Yeah.
this is like a dream car. So for me, I was lucky enough to be around someone who was very open my mind to definitely different levels of what you are capable of and what you can have. You don't have to limit yourself or small up yourself, like dream bigger. And so that was for me the turning point to see that, okay, I could have more than maybe just living in an apartment and just living paycheck. Yeah, you can have more. So shout out to them for opening my eyes to that.
And I think that's why it's so important. With what Rashad and Trey are doing in the book is they actually want you to visualize and like write down pen to paper what it is you want, because I feel like your dreams or what you think is ideal can differ from somebody else's. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, but you won't know until you actually sit down and think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that's important. So they go over some of the jobs that I guess the people have, right, in the book. And I want to know, have you ever been at a job that brought about anxiety and stress, but you needed to stay there because of responsibilities?
Not really.
Like
I
you
mean,
never felt like you had to go because like, ugh, you
oh
did.
yeah,
I did. That's what I mean.
definitely.
I remember a job you had.
I mean, I've worked retail. My first job was in a movie theater. So yeah, definitely. There's some times where I felt like I had no choice. Um, but live and you learn. Do you have any key takeaways from this chapter?
Yeah. I'm excited to go through it. I think what I need to do, or what we need to do as we're reading it, is because it is an American, you do have to kind of
Do your own research.
Do your own research to see what's applicable to you here in Canada.
It looks like we have a special guest coming down.
How about you? Any takeaways?
Yeah, just to wrap it up, don't just aim to be rich, aim to be financially free and impactful.
Yes, I
thought
think that's a good takeaway.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess next week we'll be back.
We'll be back.
And yeah, so this is episode 2, chapter 1, episode 1, chapter 1, and we'll be back with chapter 2, episode 2. Hopefully, any of you who are watching us that are reading the book, join
give us your
in.
feedback. Tell us what you think.
And let's make this a community and see what we can do.
All right.
So we're out. And anything else? Yeah, that's it. See you next week.
Bye.
End it. Azani.